welcome to Shrubby Buddies podcast, where we talk all things horticulture right from the heart of Zone 6B. So grab a drink, step into the garden, and grow with us as we talk plants, tools, tips, tricks, with a healthy dose of comedy and banter. Whether you're crushing it in the landscape or just trying to keep the one plant alive, we've got you covered. And as always, love you harder plus 2. Shrubby Buddies podcast, season 3, episode 15, take 1. Hey, Shrubby Buddies. I am Matthew C. Guthrie the First, joined with Timothy Daniel Fleischer the First in Studio 6B.
Hello.
Timmy, how are you?
Good.
Hello. Why were you so quiet? Get amped, bro.
Okay.
We're recording a podcast.
I'm amped.
Get jacked. Tim, we've had a lot of rain.
Yeah, man.
We're on the, what are they calling this? The Ring of Fire, I think.
They
where
are?
these storm systems just keep setting up and blasting us across the Great Lake region.
Yeah, we've been getting blasted, and I like it.
Ass blasted, dude, by these storms just rolling in one after the other. We had, the very least, some serious straight line winds today at the city of Dublin.
We did.
If not a tornado.
What did you say you saw?
I saw an article that said we had, what was it? 82 mile per hour was the highest wind gust recorded in Dublin. I don't know. I mean, some of those trees were twisted, dude, like straight up twisted. So
I know, and they were like in a path.
it was either straight line winds or it was a little rotato.
And I'll tell you what, wherever there wasn't like branches down everywhere, there was leaves all over the floor.
Leaves on the floor everywhere.
Everywhere.
Branches, trees. Did you get any storm damage photos? I think I got one or two.
I got a couple.
We'll throw them up so people can see what it is we're talking about. But we were boots on the ground first thing, dude. We were at the epicenter of it all right as after the storm rolled through.
Yeah, we saved a lot of lives because we just responded to the epicenter.
Bro, it was crazy. Yeah. So we got that going on. I don't know. We've probably had a few inches of rain over the past 36 hours here in central Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, like, the highway was flooded after work. I didn't drive that way. I came here. Yeah. I know 270 was a mess because it was flooded in those low spots.
Yep.
I saw Dayton, which isn't too far from here, like an hour, a little more than an hour, set another record today for rainfall.
Yeah.
Like 2-point-something inches.
Gosh, crazy, man. It's
one day.
August, too, you know? Should be hot and dry, but it's been, relatively mild and rainy.
Yeah, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
No, I'm fine with it.
The amount of watering we've done this year compared to previous years.
I could do without the wind. Don't get me wrong. When the wind's blowing, I'm like, this is pretty cool.
It's fun to watch.
But I hate the aftermath. Cleanup part of it.
Yeah.
The rain's fine. As long as it's not flooding. I know, like, Southern Ohio, I think they got like 5 or 6 inches of rain.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like flooding. The lightning's freaking sweet, and those thunder boomers, man, good stuff.
Yeah,
anyways,
we saw some good lightning today, didn't we?
We did. We did. What else is new with you, man? Anything since last week?
You said August.
It is August.
I hate August. August is my least favorite month of the year.
Okay.
So just naturally, kind of brings me to the song that I chose for the week. And this week's song is I'm Not My Season by the Fleet Foxes.
Okay.
And it's off the Shore album.
Great album.
And the reason why I'm linking that up with August is because that album dropped in September of 20.
Okay.
So during COVID. And it was like a tough time for a lot of people. And I listened to that album nonstop. And it has a lot of like sad undertones, but it made me feel better. And so the kind of the depressing vibes you get off of it just remind me of August. Like I'm not currently depressed, but August is depressing. You know what I mean?
You always are like, we need to have fun and be funny on our podcast and blah, blah, blah. And then you come on here and you start with this depressive shit, and it's like, come on, bro.
Well,
but I get it.
I hate August.
I know you do.
And this
and the second worst month is October.
Get the fuck out of here. October is the first best month, and
For
that's
you, yeah.
unequivocal. That's not an opinion. That's been proven fact.
I mean,
and I know hating August is a hot take because so many people love summer. And this August hasn't been too bad, but usually it's just hot and dry. The gardens are looking like old and distressed, and you're ready to kind of move on to the next chapter and get into planting. You're ready for football. You're ready for fall color. Ready for my birthday. Pumpkin
lattes.
Sure. If you're into that.
Spiced pumpkin latte, please.
You're just like, you're ready for fall. And August just seems to drag on. Yeah,
dude. Football's coming up. I'm going to the way. Thursday night, Chris and I are taking my nephew Jameson down for his birthday. He's a Lions fan. So they're up there in Northern Ohio. And it was kind of like at a young age, it was kind of like, all right, he's going to pick his team. It was Lions or Browns. They kind of fall right in the middle of the two, and he went with the Lions. And I mean, kudos to him. That's great.
You can't blame him.
They're a good football team. I like the coach. I like the players on the team. If I wasn't a Browns fan, I do root for the Lions. But anyways, we're going down to Cincinnati to see a preseason game for his birthday. We got tickets not far behind the players bench on the Detroit side.
Awesome.
Preseason, it was cheap, down there. We're going to Cincinnati. So.
And this will be his first NFL game?
First NFL game. Sweet. Yeah. But then we're going in November. You're coming up with me and my whole family. A huge group of us are going to the Browns-Texans game in November, which is going to be baller.
It's been a while since last time I was at a Browns game was with you.
Yeah.
And then I am also going to a Lions game this season. I'm a Browns fan.
Yeah.
But I'm going to the Lions-Bears game on Thanksgiving.
In Detroit?
Yeah.
Damn. How'd you get into that? Dude, those tickets had to have been like, woo.
It was a gift from Stacy, my sister-in-law, Stacy.
Yeah.
She did a I think it was like a silent auction event type thing, and it was and she got 4 tickets, so she gave them to me, her husband, and my other 2 brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
So we're all going to go up on, and I mean, I'm excited to do that because I've never done anything like that on Thanksgiving. I've always done the same thing, and I love Thanksgiving, and that's cool. But like going up to Detroit for a football game,
them and the Bears, and the Bears aren't a slouch now. They're a decent football team.
Late in the season, it could be real fun.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that very much, very much.
I'm ready for football season to roll around. Ready for the fantasy draft and all that.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh,
good stuff.
Another thing.
Yeah,
I'm drinking a gin today, a gin and tonic.
A little G&T.
And I'm drinking this out of my new gin glass, is what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this here.
Yeah, they can see it.
But it's got all the little...
I love how you touch those
dots on it.
Rubbies.
Yeah. And I really like the feel of this glass.
Yeah.
It feels nice. And when our group was in Michigan a couple of weeks ago, we were at the hotel bar, and they had a glass like this. And I was enamored by it. It was green.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, Maddie saw these. Our coworker Maddie saw these at Meijer and bought a few and gave me one.
Yeah,
because she remembered how much I.
And then you opened my glass cabinet tonight, and you're like, "Oh wait, you have these same glasses."
Matt has some. They're a different color and they're like a different shape, but they're that same texture.
Yeah, I think ours are like a purpley color.
I'm a real like texture type person.
Mm-hmm.
I love. There's a pillow that we have that have these little bumpules all over it. And whenever I like take a little nap in the basement, I love that pillow to be like against my skin.
Speaking of nap, bro, you were napping hard on my couch today.
Was I? Did I?
Yeah. Like I said, you're the only person I know that can be talking and like wide awake talking mid-sentence, and then 0.5 seconds later, you're sawing logs. And then you're 2 minutes later, you're wide awake talking and then sawing logs. And I'm like, damn. I wish I could do that.
I think an afternoon nap is a very important part of life. Just a few minutes.
Little afternoon siesta. Nothing beats an afternoon siesta in the motherland.
Oh, I know it.
So,
and a lot of cultures take little siestas.
I know.
In the afternoon. It's not like I just feel like napping is often looked at as a sign of like laziness.
Nah.
And I suppose it could be at times, but a lot of cultures do this like in the middle of their workday to kind of be more productive, and the studies show that
it works.
It's a good thing.
It works. Sleep's important.
So yeah.
Another person, we want to thank Sammy.
Yeah.
Samwise, we want to thank you for coming on the show last week. We had a lot of great feedback on that. Sam's a character. He's a lot of fun. I think we should definitely have him back on occasionally just for some fun episodes.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you didn't see last week's episode, it's a must watch.
Yeah.
We had our buddy Sam on, and he did a fantastic job. And like Matt said, the feedback's been
it's great. Yeah, everybody loved having Sam on there.
Yeah, I was getting texts the next day from just some people I haven't talked to in a while. Like, hey man, Sam killed it.
Sam killed it. He was a blast. Get him back on there. Yeah, that's cool. So Sam, thanks for the great job, buddy. We'll get you back on here for sure. So, cool. Well,
it's a wet August.
It is a wet August. So in honor of the wet August, we thought it would be important that we do a plant talk, and we want to hit on rain gardens today. So we've talked in the past a lot about plants that like dry feet, that do really well in hot, drought-like conditions, because that's one of the things that we struggle with a lot, right? Is typically in July, August, September here, it's very hot and very dry.
It is something we struggle with, and it's just something we have a lot of here.
Yeah.
We don't live in the kind of place that has just a lot of moist soils, consistently wet soils.
Yeah, like Seattle.
So that's why we thought this would be an appropriate topic for now, was the rain gardens.
Rain gardens. So in the rain garden talk here, we're going to go over kind of how these plants are classified. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the 3 zones that make up a rain garden. If you're kind of just breaking this down into its simplest form. And then we're going to go over a pretty robust list of plants that you can use in a rain garden. We're not going to spend a ton of time talking about these plants. So take notes. I'll throw some pictures in where I can. I don't know that I'm going to have a picture for every single one of these plants, but I'll definitely try and throw some pictures in on B-roll of this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some pictures of examples of rain gardens. But yeah.
And also just if that's something you think you might want to do, we'll talk about where would be a good place to install your rain garden.
Yeah.
How to get that started.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, we'll just dive right into this. So basically how plants are categorized is they're categorized in these like wetland and upland kind of categories. So sometimes you'll see a plant and it'll have like the letters OBL or FACW or FAC or FACU next to it. And those letters are just, it's like an abbreviation or an acronym for the type of soil moisture, I guess, is what you could call it,
sure.
That these plants want. So like obligate wetland would be plants that occur in wet areas all the time. So think of your marshes, your bogs, your fens, just areas that constantly hold water.
Yeah, plants that are going to be growing straight out of standing water probably almost all season long.
Yeah. So that would be like the OBLs, the obligate wetlands.
And just to clarify, that's not where we're going today.
No,
because rain gardens, we'll define rain gardens, but rain gardens are not a wetland. It's not the same thing.
So the next 3, though, are going to be the 3 that are going to typically make up your wet garden. And that's FACW, which is
facultative wetland.
Yeah, facultative wetland. FAC, which is facultative. FACU, which is facultative upland. And then UPL, which is just upland. And that is going to be plants that almost never occur
Sedums,
in wet areas. Just things
cacti.
That it has to be dry,
like
desert type plants. So we're not going to talk about obligate wetland, and we're not going to talk about upland. We're going to talk about the facultative wetland, facultative, and facultative upland.
Perfect.
Those 3. So those are going to be the 3 kind of zones that we hit on. And kind of how a rain garden works is you think of these 3 zones. So zone 1 would be your bottom zone, the bottom of the bowl. Let's just think of this as like a cereal bowl, bottom of the bowl, right? We'll just say the bottom third of it. That's going to be your facultative wetland plants. So plants that, when it rains hard, they're going to be underwater. It's going to fill up quick. They're going to be underwater for a longer period of time.
Be submerged for some period of time.
Yeah. But with the rain gardens, the idea of a rain garden is that the water does, slowly filter out of the area or leach out of the area, however it may be. So that's the key to the difference between a rain garden and what we talked about as an obligate wetland. Obligate wetland, the water doesn't ever go anywhere. Rain gardens, the idea is that the water does filter through this at some point in time. And that all kind of depends on your soils. Where we're at heavy clay, it's probably going to stick around a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Areas like up in Michigan, sandy soils, it's going to filter through much quicker. But that would be bottom of the bowl.
Okay.
FACW, bottom of the bowl.
Okay. What's next? What's kind of
the next layer would be the how do you say that word? I keep
facultative?
Yeah, facultative. I always screw the pronunciation of that up. Facultative would be your next layer. Zone 2, middle of the bowl, the middle third.
So think as you start to go up the walls of the bowl.
Yeah. So these plants are also going to be underwater, under a hard rain, could be underwater, not as long as the wetland plants. The soils will remain kind of moist, but in between some of these bigger rain systems, the soils will dry out.
Completely dry out.
Will completely dry out. So that would be your middle section. And then zone 3 is going to be the upland section, the top third of the bowl. Okay. Now, these plants can also be underwater under extreme rain events. So like what we've had over the past couple of days, or, if you're getting 2 or 3 inches of rain in a short amount of time.
Right.
Could also be if the rain garden's in an area where maybe you have a lot of runoff. Maybe you have like several gutters coming off of your house into this area. So it's going to fill up quicker. It's just taking in a larger amount of water.
But as that water drains, this will be the first area that will dry out.
That'll be the first.
It's up higher. It's on a steeper slope, and it might even be up on the plateau.
Yeah.
Above the bowl, and this layer just kind of softens the whole rain garden.
Yes. So these plants can take very short amounts of time underwater, but they're going to be the plants that they're going to do the best in the really dry soil. Yeah. So these soils are going to dry out
and
remain dry for a longer amount of time.
As drought tolerant.
Yeah, very drought tolerant plants. So that's kind of the 3 zones. And I'm going to throw a graphic up on here right now on the B-roll. It's a graphic that I've seen used all over the internet. I'll probably throw the one up from North Creek Nurseries that just kind of shows how these 3 zones would layer out in a rain garden setting. And before we dive into the plants, you had mentioned that we could discuss maybe some areas where you would do rain gardens.
Yeah.
So one area that comes to mind for me would be at your home. Maybe it's at a downspout. You just don't want all of that water running out to the street through an eaves spout drain or into a field tile and going who knows where. Maybe you want to catch that water and run it through like a rain garden. So digging out like a depression and running your downspouts into that area, could be a good way to do a rain garden. What are some other areas that you can think of?
So just in general, a low-lying area in your yard. And this isn't as common with like new builds because
everything's
these
leveled
smaller
out.
lots and they grade them out just right. But like the lot that my home that I grew up, when it rains, you just know the areas that are just going to be standing water.
Yep.
Because they're just that low spot in the yard. And you might not notice that when it's not raining, but after it rains, it always collects the water. So just places you notice that always collect water would be a good place to install a rain type garden.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would say definitely so. Other areas too would be maybe there's like some stormwater-ish type areas and you have like parking lot runoff or sidewalk runoffs and it's not really making its way to a good drain, or maybe there is a drain there, but it's not like fast draining. If you have some sort of a low-lying area in a spot like that,
will this be similar to what you've done at the rec center?
So I did one at the rec center, yeah, and that's it gets a lot of surface water from the rec center, and then just a lot of surrounded by concrete, and there is a drain in the bottom of this, so water does,
and it is like a bowl,
so water will find its way into that drain. The drain sits up probably 6 or 8 inches, so the water does kind of catch at that drain before it really goes over. But yeah, it may be an area like that. So like some stormwater runoff. But I think for just like, if you're interested in rain gardens, finding a low-lying area at your house to make one, or just something as simple as digging a hole out. And this hole doesn't have to be like 3 or 4 feet deep. You know what I mean? It can really be just any area that's going to collect and hold that water.
Sure. Anybody could certainly construct a rain garden if they wanted to. I've always looked at as a rain garden as like an opportunistic garden. Like, you have an area that you don't have anything else to do with it except let's turn it into a rain garden.
Yeah.
Because it stays so wet. But yes, if you also could put in the work and create your own rain garden just because you want one. Sure.
Yeah, for sure. In the rain garden the plants we're going to talk about today are all
natives.
They're all natives, not necessarily just to Ohio, but natives to the United States. Most of these are going to be native to the Great Lakes region, and then Eastern United States and across the Midwest. So, we broke this down into zone 1 plants, zone 2 plants, and zone 3 plants. And we wanted to try and stay native with this because we feel like a lot of people that are putting rain gardens in tend to be people that like more naturalistic type plantings, or people that are a little bit more aware of the environment and wanting to do things to help with stormwater runoff, and not just all of this rain, making its way to the storm sewer,
and providing habitat for wildlife,
for animals and insects and the birds and all of that good stuff.
Right. So just playing off that, rain gardens aren't going to be like a proper English style looking garden.
Nope, they're usually not.
They're going to have that, and I do air quotes, that messier look, because I don't love the term messy, because messy sometimes implies negative. But it's just going to be a little bit more disorganized. I mean, this isn't rows of sheared boxwoods. That's not what a rain garden is ever going to be.
No, and with a lot of your native plants, they seed themselves around, So
yeah. So if you mistakenly plant one of these plants that should be in the bottom of the bowl, you mistakenly plant it a little high, the seeds might pop down there and be way happier down there.
Yeah.
So, that's just like a happy little surprise there.
Yes. Right? Side nugget, little side quest to this whole thing is, I don't know if I have pictures of it or not, but I remember years ago being up in Petoskey, Michigan, and the town of Petoskey kind of sits up on a hill and it looks down over the bay. And I don't remember what the name of the bay is there on Lake Michigan that splits Harbor Springs and Petoskey. But anyways, that doesn't matter. On one of the hills for these streets that goes down to the water, there were these metal catch drains, and they were like, I don't know, 12 or 15 inches wide by 12 or 15 inches deep, with a metal grate across them, and they spanned across the width of the road, right? And they were graded in a way that when all of the water and the snow melt and the salt and stuff came down the street and it hits these catch basins, the catch basins moved all of that water to these. It was like a concrete square, right? I don't remember how big it was. Let's just say 10 by 10. But anyways, and it was like a rain garden. So all of this water they were catching and they were running it through this rain garden, or this bioswale, and filtering out all of the road salts and oil and just crap, before it ever made its way to down to Lake Michigan. And I just thought that was really cool.
It is.
So,
and we've got some areas similar to that here in Columbus. If you go down some of those side streets in Clintonville,
yeah,
there's just been this big campaign with putting in these rain gardens on the sides of the streets. So those are really cool too. But it's the same idea that it's kind of a concrete jungle and all that water has to go somewhere. So let's go to that low spot and let's put plants in there that are going to like that.
Yeah.
So
and filter out a lot of the crap. So, all right. Plants. Zone 1 plants. Up first.
Zone 1. So we're talking bottom of the bowl.
Bottom of the bowl, Zone 1 plants. Plants that are going to appreciate the moist feet, if you will.
Most of these plants likely will not do great in your typical garden that doesn't get irrigated throughout the year.
Correct. Unless it's a low spot in your garden that it's getting some rain. Otherwise, yes. All right. Plant number 1, cardinal flower. Lobelia cardinalis.
Beautiful flower.
Red flowering cardinal flower is one that we had.
I mean, it's like the truest red.
Yeah. It is bright red.
You don't see it a lot. Like that true color a lot. Like it'll catch your eye. I know we've got some spots in Dublin where it just kind of grows in the woods in those wet areas. And that's the thing. It takes a little shade too.
Yeah.
So,
and
really cool native plant.
At the one at Brandon Park, there's the wetland area that's got the overflow that kind of comes out, and that water naturally has carved out like a stream, and the lobelia just grows like right there, all the time. So
great plant.
Swamp milkweed's another one.
And swamp milkweed, it's almost my favorite milkweed, because the flowers. Really? Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because the flowers have a little bit of a scent to them compared to butterfly weed. I like the ice ballet cultivar.
I know you do.
With the white flowers, but the swamp milkweed has pink flowers. But it's been my favorite because over the years, anytime you walk by milkweed, people are just like, you're always just looking for caterpillars at a certain time of the year, and they seem to be the ones, at least for me, in my areas that have the most monarch activity. Okay. So I appreciate that. But yeah, like we had ice ballet in our gardens by the house, and it's done.
Toast.
It did great for a year or two, and then it bit the dust, and the roots are still down there. So it'll like sprout up in the spring, but once it starts to get hot, it'll just die back.
Yeah.
So
I've tried it several times. I just don't. I even tried it in my little rain garden area, and I think that the water drains out a little too quick, even there for it at the bottom, because it does have that drain in. But
it's all in the name, swamp milkweed.
Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
so
milkweed's a big one right now. You know, there's a lot of people that are asking for and wanting milkweed. I see like
it is
people wanting milkweed seed, and they come to the nursery and want milkweeds.
And there's milkweeds for all these situations. Swamp milkweed is the one for a rain garden.
Yeah.
Unequivocally.
Blue flag iris, another good one.
Iris versicolor
adds a beautiful there's different cultivars. I can't remember the name of the cultivar now. It's the one that comes out black. Anyways, the leaves come out black, and they eventually turn green. Anyways, but yeah, beautiful purple flower, nice, pretty, thick blade, like thicker bladed, strappy iris type.
Taller foliage and a little bit thinner, but still pretty wide, but more so than like the bearded iris.
Yeah.
Like taller and a little thinner than
and a little
thick.
Yeah, but thicker than thicker than
an ornamental grass. Absolutely.
For sure. So blue flag iris, that's a great one. And those will spread by rhizomes, right? Yeah. I think the blue flag iris spreads some.
Yeah, you have that down in your rain garden at the rec center. It's doing great.
Yeah, that's the one that comes out black. I can't remember the name of that though.
Iris versicolor.
It's iris versicolor, but I can't remember the name of the cultivar. All right, you just like saying versicolor. Joe Pye weed.
Yes.
Another great one.
And Joe Pye weed is one on this list that will probably grow in your garden. Like it does. This one doesn't have to be wet. I think once it's established, it does pretty good in dry conditions. I've seen it do that, but it does really great in the wet conditions, and it's a big plant. So if you want to add some height, especially because where you're putting it down in the bottom of the bowl is at the bottom, so you want to have some height coming
up in there. Yeah, a little height up in there. But there are some great cultivars that can give you that. The shorter, if you just have a smaller area and you're dead set on Joe Pye weed, there's Little Joe and Baby Joe, both great cultivars that are just going to, Little Joe is just a little shorter than the species, and Baby Joe is even shorter yet.
Just a little disclaimer though, because like the species is going to get what, like 8 feet tall potentially. Yeah. I would still add like 2 feet to whatever the tag says for Baby and Little Joe.
Yeah, I think the Baby, I've got some Baby Joe growing at work, and I want to say it probably hits about 4 feet.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
All right.
I don't know that I've ever seen it get any taller than that.
All right. Well, that's good. That's nice. That's nice.
But yeah, so Joe Pye weed's a great one. And again, like Tim was saying, Joe Pye weed will work in zone 2 and maybe even in zone 3. And that's the way some of these plants are. If you look, some of these will hit on, several of the different categories. So,
right. And not to mention with Joe Pye weed, just a pollinator magnet.
Oh, dude.
Blooming now.
A little later blooming. Yeah, late summer bloomer.
So it can help carry your season through towards the end of summer.
Yeah.
So,
another good perennial is Verbena histata. I can't remember what the common name for Verbena histata is. I'm going to look it up right now.
I can't remember either, but it's got spikes of bluish purple flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Native
blue vervain.
Blue
yeah,
vervain.
We knew that. Yeah. But yeah, that would be a really good one. Kind of those like speedwelly looking purple spikes, maybe not quite as tall, but again, a wonderful pollinator plant.
Yeah, real natural look.
Flowering now. So yeah, that's a cool one. Some grasses.
Give me the grasses.
Some grasses. Dyschamcia or tufted hairgrass would be a good one. What else did we have down here? So Carrick stricta or tussock sedge. And that's one that really, really likes wet feet. That's the one. So Carrick stricta is the carex that if you go to the Grass River Nature Preserve on the boardwalk all the way out at the end, all along the boardwalk, so in that like wetland, it's all Carrick stricta. Yeah. But in a setting like that, where it's got wet feet all the time, they spread like crazy. So they are very aggressive. So they will fill an area in. And then your Russias or your Juncus, if you will, like Blue Arrow Juncus.
Tickle my Juncus.
Yeah. Grass-like plant. So
sedges are a rush.
Sedges.
Wait. Sedges are a rush. No, I said that wrong. What's that sticker say that I got you?
When did you get me a sticker?
Did you look in your bag from PPA?
Yeah, but I don't remember.
It was like a circle.
Okay.
It had a play on words with Juncus and Rush.
Oh.
Anywho.
Okay. So Juncus and Rushes. And then we threw out 3 shrubs that we could work in here. So these would be if you have a bigger rain garden area.
Or if you're looking for some, bones for the winter time.
Bones.
Something to...
Because of the bones.
Yeah, because of the bones.
It's because of the bones.
Something that still will kind of like hold its form in the winter time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And what are the shrubs?
Buttonbush.
Buttonbush. That's like the obvious one.
Obvious one. Buttonbush. A lot of good cultivars of that.
I freaking love buttonbush.
Just a nice...
One of the coolest flowers.
Nice shaped shrub with... the foliage is fine, just a green foliage, but it gets these like golf ball sized white flowers that just boop, all over it in the summertime. And pollinator magnet.
Oh, geez. You name it, it pollinates.
Yeah. So that's a good one. And then we had Red twig dogwood on here as another great one.
Yeah,
and
you see a lot of red osier dogwood growing, like specifically where we are in Dublin along the Scioto River.
Yeah,
like down by Amberley and stuff. Just really nice too in the wintertime.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the red stems.
And I lied. We only have two. We only had two shrubs.
Was that it?
Yeah. Can you think of a third shrub that would be good?
We don't need to.
Is that good?
It's not necessary.
Yeah, I said three, so I was just trying to think. Clethra, summer sweet.
Funny, that was on my mind too, but I wasn't going to say it.
Okay, so Clethra would be a good one,
and Clethra is a good one, summer sweet that could do a little bit of shade too. So if you're looking for a little bit of shade,
yep.
But
the Clethra needs to have those wet feet for sure.
Yeah, and we have one Clethra in our yard at home. We have the ruby hummingbird.
Ruby Spires or
Ruby Spice.
I know there's
Spice. Anyways, it's one of the pink ones, and it's right at the front of our house, but at the bottom of the downspout that takes all of our water. Like we have a weird roof where like 2% of the water goes this way, 2% goes this way, 2% goes that way, and 94% of the water just comes off the front, and it's planted right there.
And it does well.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it perfect. Does well. It's not like super vigorous, doesn't put on a whole lot of growth, but it's doing well. Yeah. And it's in full bloom right now, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, just nice white flower spikes on it.
White, in our case, pink.
Or in your case, pink. Not a shrub that gets huge. I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 feet tall would be like on the big side for one.
Sure.
But yeah, and then there's some good cultivars. Like I know 16 Candles is a real popular one. And I think it's just got the longer flower spikes on it. Clethra, perfect. All right, on to zone 2 plants.
So now we're talking about as you start to climb out of that bowl and you start to get up onto the slopes.
Okay, so we're on the zone 2 plants. One that we've been talking about a lot lately, one that we have come to love, and that is meadow rue, thalictrum. So the thalictrums are excellent. Again, a lot of different sizes of thalictrum. You just a couple weeks ago in Michigan saw an 11-foot tall thalictrum, and you saw a thalictrum that was 11 inches tall. So, and you can get them in a lot of different in-betweens, but there's some great cultivars that have hit the scene. I'm seeing more in the garden centers. Cotton candy being one, and black stockings. Black stockings being the other one. Two great cultivars of thalictrum, but excellent zone 2 plants. They will do good underwater.
You know where I see a lot of thalictrum is along the Scioto River in Dublin. At Scioto Park. There's some. And then Equanus.
Okay.
There's lots of thalictrum. But it's not like, it doesn't grow out of those wettest areas with like the standing water, but it's just up off the edge. It's on the river side of the boardwalk still. Yeah. So it's still, a plenty moist area.
It's in a zone 2 area for sure.
And that's where I see a lot of the thalictrums. And I've used thalictrums a lot lately, and I've put it in some pretty dry gardens, and it's coming back, and it looks great in the spring, but
it burns out in the summer.
It's brown now.
Yeah.
So,
I would say that is one that could definitely probably cross over to a zone 1. I've seen it growing in the Grass River Nature Preserve in the middle of the wetland with the tussock sedge and the rushes and things up there. So,
meadow rue.
Okay. Another one, Liatris.
Spicata, actually there's tons of native Liatri.
Yeah, sure.
My father-in-law just sent a picture of some Liatris from his prairie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it to you for B-roll.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. It's not spicata. It's one of the other species.
He had some nice photos on Instagram. Gary, good job. Yeah. They were very artistic. He was I think playing on that light and everything.
Probably the one I got.
Yeah.
I'll send that to you.
Yeah, send that over to me for the B-roll. But yeah, Liatris is a great one. Just these big, funky, tall spikes, if you will. flower rods. I don't know, because
magenta flowers, like real bright, just
but
super bright.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know.
Great. Hey, folks, a great replacement for purple loosestrife.
Yeah,
in my opinion, it's like it's one of the most perfect transitions. Like, also likes the wetter soils, like the loosestrife. Pretty much the same color flower, spikes, very floriferous. So it's almost like a 1-to-1 replacement.
Yeah, for sure.
Which you don't find too often.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So Liatris, Rudbeckia maxima. That's one that I used in the rain garden. Just the big, silvery, bluey, gray, kind of strappy, thick, chunky foliage.
And when it first comes out, you think it's cabbage of some sort, right?
Yeah. And then, it gets the big yellow Rudbeckia flower spikes on it, or flowers that just dance way up in the air above the plant. That's one that we've talked about on here before.
I have a question about that plant. Not for you, but for the
listeners.
For those of you that are involved with the PPA, the Perennial Plant Association, because a few years ago, Rudbeckia maxima was one of the plants we could vote on.
Yep.
And it didn't win, and that's okay. Just because I want it to win doesn't mean it's going to win. But what I've noticed is oftentimes those plants that were on the ballot,
they never hit it again.
Where are they now? And it's like, wait, it was like a top 3, and now it's just like garbage.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the website explains this, but I don't know if anyone
shit or get off the pot, dude.
Like I just feel like that one needs to get back on the ballot, is what I'm saying.
And Spigelia needs to get on the ballot.
Yeah. Well, they had
you promised me it would be
at the voting booth ish, if you know what it
is.
The voting table at this past PPA, they had like a list of like, write down any plants you have for future consideration. And I wrote down a big handful of plants, but those two were both on it.
I knew it. All right, so Rudbeckia maxima, New England aster. Mm-hmm. This is another great one. Just beautiful fall color. The purples, the blues, all of that stuff.
This is probably another one like the Joe Pye weed that can take the dry soils too.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good crossover plant. Great for the fall color. Great for pollinators.
And maybe in this rain garden setting where it's kind of down in the bowl a little bit, I wouldn't cut it back. I wouldn't give it that shear.
Yeah, let it be its thing.
I want it to just kind of
creep and crawl,
weave its way up through things.
Yep.
So, that's another thing. Like maybe a little bit less work in a rain garden too.
Oh, for sure. Cut it back once a year and call it a day. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about doing that Chelsea chop or anything.
Yeah, and even with some of these plantings, too, like as long as it's not out of control, but like if you get like a pokeweed that comes up through, just leave it be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Am I crazy?
No.
I'm just saying, like, if you get like a weed that comes up through, like,
hey,
just let it be.
You do you, boo.
Okay, I will do me.
I'm not sorry. You want to move on?
No, I'm listening.
Me and pokeweed have like a.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm never leaving a pokeweed ever.
What if it was some other type of
ever,
like one other tall, like weedy plant that came up, like a Queen Anne's lace came up somewhere in there or something.
Whatever. Sure.
Or a teasel.
Sure.
Okay. Anyways, moving along. Monarda. Another good one.
Fistulosa.
Sure. But any of the Monardas, I think, would work great in the zone 2 area, even into the zone 3 area, the drier area. Yeah. I think that they would work. A lot of different Monardas. What else we got on here for? Oh, obedient plant. That was a late ad from you. Because
Physostegia virginiana.
Yep.
And reason being, I know that's a native plant, and I don't come across it, and I don't think it's uncommon, but I don't come across it very often.
No.
But we did come across it, a whole bunch of it, when we were exploring an area in Dublin that was city owned that we'd never explored before.
It's a new park. What's that park called? Paw Paw Park?
Dirty paws.
Hidden paws.
Hidden paws.
Hidden
Because there's a lot of
Paws.
pawpaws down there.
Yeah, Hidden Paws Park.
But yeah, when we came down to the river and started walking back up, and just off the bank of the river, there was tons of Physostegia obedient plant growing.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
And
Did you get any photos of that?
a lot of people think, yeah, I did.
Okay. If not, we need to go down.
I'm
there and get
almost
some.
sure I did.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I would
hopefully
be
we have that
shocked if you didn't.
for B-roll. But obedient plant, a lot of people think it's called obedient plant because it doesn't spread, but that's not true. It spreads quite a bit. The name actually comes from, you're able to like grab the flower and move the flowers are all born on a spike, almost like a penstemon, and you can move each flower and bend it and it'll stay right where you move it.
Yeah.
I just think that's so cool.
It is super cool, dude. It's like the Gumby.
It's like
the
a
Gumby of
weird
plant.
Gumby robot plant.
Yeah, I love it.
That's why it's called obedient plant.
Let's do it. Let's plant some more of those. Great blue lobelia. So we already talked about cardinal flower, but the great blue lobelia would be similar, but it gets bigger, right? And has the blue colored flowers.
Yeah, it does. And I've seen it smaller too. And I've seen it growing in like real wet woodlands too. Cool flower, maybe not quite as striking as the cardinal flower, but up close, like that blue is pretty. It's a pretty blue.
It is a pretty blue. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good one. Some grasses that would work in this area would be big blue stems. We talk about a lot of grasses on here because we're grass freaks, but so big blue stem would be a good one. Panicums, so your switch grasses would be excellent choices here. Just
do you love these panicums that you're seeing now that are just like, whoosh?
Yeah,
I love them.
I do.
Like totem pole.
I mean, I have one out.
I know you do.
You know, I do love what they're doing with some of these plants,
And I love
the colors
classics
they're getting out
too,
of it too.
like the Shenandoah and the North Wind.
I love all of those too, but you have to give those things room because they will spread around.
But I love these. I love these like,
yeah,
totem pole is a very good name for that particular plant.
Skinny and tall.
Yeah.
Just like a totem pole. Yeah. So with the panicums, excellent plant for a rain garden. But like I hit on, these things will spread. So just be mindful of that. So switch grasses, big blue stems, a couple of shrubs that we can hit on would be elderberry. Great one. Some great cultivars of that out as well. There's the dark leafed elderberry. I can't remember the names. There's the yellow or like chartreusey colored leaf.
I think
then there's
the dark one's like black negligee or something.
Maybe,
along those lines.
yeah.
It's very like like sexy.
Yeah. And then there's the like chartreusey or yellow colored one. I've got one in my yard. I can't remember the cultivar, but I think it's a PW plant.
Lemon.
Maybe
something.
You could say it, and I don't
lemon
remember.
Meringue pie.
Sure, yeah, key lime.
It's
yeah.
not.
But anyways,
it
does good. I have mine in probably a little too much shade. It starts out in the spring a really really pretty yellow color. Then of course as the canopy starts to fill in, it slowly goes to a green. So if you gave this thing, they will grow in some shadier areas.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's an edge of the woods type plant. So it's kind of like where a redbud would grow.
Yeah. I would say if you were planting it in the full sun, though, maybe put this thing kind of on that that tweener zone between zone 1 and 2. Like,
tweener.
So, but yeah. And then Itea would be another one. So,
yeah. Why can't I think
Sweet
of
Spire.
Sweet Spire.
Yeah. Is it Sweet Spire?
Sweet Spire.
God, we're horrible with common names. We're so used to
Itea. Some cultivars are Little Henry and Henry's Garnet. Henry's Garnet will be a bigger one. Pretty unrivaled fall color. What is it? Sweet Spire? It's Sweet Spire. It is.
How dumb are we right now, people? Sweet Spire.
It is.
Yeah, Sweet Spire.
Okay.
See, I was right. Or Virginia Willow.
It's
Willow. Matamodigan.
It's one of those plants that I know we've talked about this, but we see it everywhere in Dublin, planted in landscapes that we didn't originally plant, but now we care for. And it's just like so anemic because it definitely needs a little extra moisture in the soil. And if if it's not going to handle like parking lot islands and dry ass soils. It's just not.
Also, I think with ITEA, I just don't know how much they like our super heavy clay soils. Too.
Oh, right. I think slightly acidic soils would actually probably be better for it. Like I've said this before, but like the Dawes Arboretum, I don't know if they still do, but towards the entrance, they just had a really like it's incredible stand of it, so that we just don't see it like that.
Yeah, I've seen some along the East Coast and down south that are just knock your socks off. Like, holy shit, why can't we grow them like that?
Knock your pants off, even.
Yeah. All right. Zone 3 plants, the final zone. I got a list here just as reference.
Wait a minute.
All right, I'm waiting.
Going back to elderberry, is it lemony lace?
Yes, lemony lace.
I knew it was a lemon.
I remembered it. Yeah,
lemon something.
Good job, bub. You're smart.
It's
Blind
all of those.
finds
a nut every now and again.
It's all of those wordles and whatever the hell else you play in the morning that keeps your brain sharp. All
right, so now we're on to zone 3. So we're at the top of the bowl.
Top of the bowl,
and it's going to start to plateau.
Stuff that, it can take a flood every now and again, but that water better be getting away from it pretty quick because this stuff does not like wet feet. Yeah. But top of the bowl, great list of perennials here. These are perennials that we've talked about before. We probably use these in our bag more than anything else.
We do, because this is what most of our soils are.
Yeah. Shitty, dry, hot areas. But without further ado, we've got Baptisia.
Baptisia Australia.
False indigo. Lord, take your pick. If you want the species, wonderful.
Lord, take
your pick. If you want a cultivar, there's a million cultivars.
I know. They've got like every type of lemonade you could think of.
All different color flowers, all different sizes.
Yellows and purples and bicolors and whites. And, my goodness.
Pinks and yellow. It's nuts. Beautiful plants, though.
That would need space.
They need space. They do get big.
This might not be the plant for your little 5x5 downspout rain garden that Matt was referring to earlier, but a larger rain garden, absolutely.
Yeah,
perfect.
So Baptisia would be a good one. Butterfly weed. So we hit on Asclepias incarnata earlier. We're going to talk Asclepias tuberosa. So this is one butterfly weed that it has to have those dry soils. This is that bright orange flower you see in the heat of the summer growing alongside the road in the shittiest soil possible. Butterfly weed, a great food source for the monarch butterflies. And it really adds a color of orange to the garden that is hard to get on other plants.
Exactly. It helps set everything off.
It really does. It will seed around. Not super crazy. I have it pop up. I have about 3 or 4, maybe a half dozen volunteer plants pop up every year in my garden. And I'll usually call most of them
and
out.
Oftentimes the things around it will grow faster and outcompete it because it is a late one to get its start.
But some of them I'll just leave, and eventually I'll probably dig up and give away. So the butterfly weed's a good one. Echinacea. So really any of the echinaceas, Purpurea, Pallida, any of this Tennesseeensis.
Sure, but again, please do your research.
Yeah.
Mount Cuba trials.
Yeah. So there's a million different echinaceas out there.
And there's echinaceas with problems. I mean, there's echinaceas that are going to reseed back into the straight species, which is cool if that's what you want. But if you bought this like echinacea that looks like a mullet and it's like the color of orange sherbet and you want that to come back every year, like some of them are not reliable. So So make sure you do your research on the echinaceas as far as the scores they get.
I don't know where it would link at. Here, Mountain Cuba trials. I'll link that in for right to the echinacea trials. Hell, I'll even throw in the Baptisia trials because they do a Baptisia trial too. That's excellent.
And they do a Vernonia one too.
And they do a Vernonia one. And Vernonia is on this list. So are ironweeds. And I'll just boom, 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 Mount Cuba, that shit up. And then you can pick your favorite.
Which was also the perennial plant of the year.
Summer Swan Song, right?
Summer Swan Song.
Yeah.
Song.
So Vernonia, the ironweeds.
Which can we just have a little conversation, you and I, real quick?
Okay.
We still need to procure some ironweed for Gary's garden.
Oh, okay.
And,
yes.
And I reassured him last time I was there because he reminded me that there were these blank spots that like that's a plant that's going to be so readily available
in
later
the fall.
in the season.
Yeah.
And we'll get it in there.
Okay.
But
how's everything else
I
looking?
think we put Prairie Princess in the plans, but I think we should go to Summer Swan Song just because of the perennial plant of the year thing.
Everything else looking good?
Yeah, it looks so good.
Okay.
Looks so good.
All right. So Vernonias, that's going to be one flowering now. Beautiful purple, dark purple flowers. Pollinator crazy, late summer, into early fall plant. Pairs well. It looks so good with Solidago. And that's one that we left off of here. The goldenrods, but goldenrod and ironweed together to me is just like, bam, just a classic fall color combo.
Put Solidago on this list. Just because it's not on the, because it's not on your list doesn't mean it's not on the list, right?
Yeah. Penstemon, that's going to be an earlier flowering plant. Some great cultivars of Penstemon out.
Mm-hmm.
You can get pink flowering, red flowering, white
Onyx
flowering.
and Pearls, Huskers Red, Pocahontas. I mean,
you can get it with just the green foliage. You can get it with the dark burgundy foliage, yada, yada, yada. A great one. Again, it will seed around some in your garden if you plant it and you leave those seed heads up. But there again, let it do its thing. The other plants will keep it in check. If not, it's super easy to pick out early in the year. You can just go in there, dig it out.
Especially if you've got the red foliage cultivars, the purple foliage. So they all come up that color from seeds. So it's so easy to find them. Yeah.
So Penstemon's a great one. One of my favorite perennials, Mountain Mint, the Pycnanthemums. Another great one, Pollinator Magnet. Not necessarily the showiest plant with these big showy ray flowers, but just a really tough, the small flower on it, that like white flower with the white leaves. It's a pollinator magnet. I don't know.
A couple things about that. This is our first year where it's really doing great where we planted it.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it a Chelsea chop next year because it's like
gotten really
big.
Is that the Pycnanthemum muticum or was it the
muticum?
Muticum. Okay.
It's actually like the exact plants that we got from Perennial Plant Conference.
The plugs. Yeah. In Asheville.
The free plugs they gave us.
Okay.
So it's those exact plants. And Amelia's been making little bud vases for her stand, and it's been a really great addition to those. She's been making two kinds of bud vases, like super bright, flashy ones. And then she's been making these like more like elegant ones, and they work in those elegant ones really nice.
Oh, yeah.
So
I like an elegant bud vase.
I know you
personally.
Do.
Oh,
I've heard you say that before.
Speaking of that, I'm still waiting on my tomatoes, snacking tomatoes. Okay. Another great perennial that I'm going to throw on here before we get into the last little subcategory of Zone 3 is Amsonia. So this is another one that we've talked about. Any of the Amsonias, Tabernet Montana, Amsonia hubrichtii, just any of those Arkansas Blue Stars. Any of the Blue Stars. Not Arkansas.
Yes, I have nothing more to say about Amsonia. Wonderful plant.
Wonderful plant. There again, you can get it in. There's some different cultivars that are coming out, smaller ones. Traditionally, it's a pretty...
There again, indeed.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, now grasses. Zone 3 grasses.
Little Blue Stem.
Little Blue Stem is number 1 on our list. Great grass. Again, because it's so damn good, a lot of people are doing a lot with the breeding on it, and it's just every year there's some badass.
Speaking of breeding, coming out, shout out to Brent. I love Little Red Fox.
Yeah,
love that cultivar.
Another one is yellow prairie grass. So Sorghastrum nutans. Great native prairie grass, upland prairie grass. And then we have, last but not least, would be the Bootaluas on there.
Blue grama grass.
Blue grama grasses. So, so that gives you a little spattering of grasses for your Zone 3 or
What have we found with the blue grama grass? Honeycomb is the
Yeah,
cultivar
so-
for if you're up north here.
Yeah. So for up north here, so the real popular one was
Blonde Ambition.
Blonde Ambition, and I would still say
It was
it's
like
a
the
real popular
only one for a while.
And from what I understand, I could be completely wrong on this, people. For those of you that are in the know and listening, I believe that it was
Minnesota.
Blonde Ambition was sourced. That was the southern plant.
New Mexico.
New Mexico or Arizona, maybe.
Same difference.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much. So that plant that
if you're in New Mexico, Arizona, and you want to say Ohio, Indiana, same difference, whatever.
it is.
Say
yeah,
it.
I mean,
I don't care.
for sure.
So
Illinois, you can throw that in there too.
nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, Indiana, Ohio,
But what maybe like
and Kentucky,
Pennsylvania or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of Amish over there, and they got mountains over there, like we
Yeah.
don't have here.
Yeah, we don't have
Anyways, I think it was an Arizona plant, and it just wasn't as reliable in the northern climates. Hardy to this area for sure, but like just didn't do as well. Honeycomb is from like a northern plant and does much better.
They call that provenance when something is
Okay.
like it's from a northern provenance or a southern provenance, and honeycomb is more of a northern provenance selection. So it has those hardiness genes.
So
built
similar
in.
to Nissa sylvatica, what's the cultivar out that's variegated? Sherry's Cloud. So Nissa sylvatica Sherry's Cloud is a cultivar of variegated black tupelo, but it is a southern tree, a southern provenance tree. I want to say that it was found in like Alabama or Georgia. Hardy to this area, but it doesn't do as well in our northern reaches.
Okay.
Which is why Dave was so excited when I got the cuttings for the variegated Nissa sylvatica in Ohio, because he's like, maybe this, if we can get this going, it would be a more reliable northern tree. So
Perfect.
I don't know.
Love it.
Similar thing, but cool. That does it for our list. We threw a lot of plants out there on the rain gardens.
Yeah.
So
I
hope that people enjoyed talking rain gardens. We don't hardly ever talk about
we don't
plants that like wet feet.
And what was I going to say? I say let nature guide you.
Mm-hmm.
And something that I love about, and this doesn't just go with wet loving plants, but dry loving plants, is the ability to see a plant growing in the wild and know what kind of moisture is going to be in the ground there, right? Like, not just prairies, but in the woods too. Like you see some like pawpaw trees or something, and you know they're not going to be like up on the top of the ridge, whatever. They're going to be in a lower lying area, not wet feet, but you know, these floodplain region,
these zone 2 plants,
right? Yeah, there you go. And I love that when we look at Gary's prairies that we were just talking about. They're very long and they evolve as you move through. And there's points in some of them that are like towards the center where the flora is completely different than everywhere else in that prairie. And it's like, that's because that spot holds water.
And it could just be that's what's crazy. It could just be the difference between like
it's just
a
small
foot
areas.
of elevation.
It is, and it's just small little square footage wise areas. And then you see all these plants in there, but you don't see them anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because that's where they want to grow. That's the only place they're going to be successful. So I always just remind people when you're out, just like absorb that kind of thing. Because that's a really fun lens to look at things through. Yeah.
When you see a plant where you're like, oh, if you're on a nature walk and you're like, oh, that plant's sweet, or whatever. But you're not sure what it is. And you get your Google lens out and boom. Oh, it's this plant, just take a mental note of, where was that? Yeah. Was it along the river? Was it at the top of the hill, or whatever? So,
right. And like, the milkweed one of the milkweeds we didn't talk about today would be like common milkweed.
mm-hmm.
And it's kind of ubiquitous. It'll grow anywhere.
Yeah.
But the way I know that that plant can take the driest AF conditions is when we were in Michigan, staying right on Lake Michigan in Charlevoix. It was growing out of the beach,
Out of the sand.
out of the sand. Not,
I know.
And the thing is, it was growing like closer to the water, like where there's some moisture, and it was growing like up on the top of the dunes where it's drier than shit.
Yeah, those sand dunes are really, really neat ecosystems.
They are.
And like the plant palette is not very large, but the plants that grow in there are super unique.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. The top of a hill made of sand, like.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is I was at Empire Bluffs doing that hike a few years back.
I love it when you click your tongue. That means you got a good idea.
Yeah, and we walk out and I look down and I'm like, whoa, that's pretty. It just looked like a cloud of flowers along the dune. And I'm like, what the hell is that, right? Get up on it, it's baby's breath. I'm thinking to myself, it's beautiful, but like, is baby's breath native to this area?
Is it?
So I Google it real quick, like baby's breath, sleeping bear dunes.
Gypsophila?
Boom. And they're like, it is like ecosystem destroyer. They've got like teams of people that are going in and trying to like eradicate it. Shit. And it's just like, I'll throw a picture on here, man. It is nuts.
Did it come out of like someone's bouquet?
I have no idea. It is just taking over the dune.
Like some wedding photos. I always think of baby's breath as like a wedding flower, like some wedding photos and the seeds just
I'm thinking like
in the dunes.
If you need a bouquet of baby's breath, like just go to Sleeping Bear Dunes and infinite amount of it.
Do we know why it's called baby's breath?
I don't.
I think the flowers smell kind of sour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not like poopy, but just like sour.
Like sour milk breath. Yeah.
I think that's why. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners and watchers.
Okay.
I think that's why.
Good enough.
Sour.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
What do you got anything else for this episode?
Man, baby vomit is disgusting. That's some of the worst things.
Let's move on from that.
Okay.
Anything else about this?
No, I'm pretty pleased.
Okay.
With things.
Happy rain garden making.
Yeah.
And just because we're talking about rain gardens, a lot of these plants will work into a lot of different situations, not just rain gardens, but
absolutely.
Yeah, use some of this and happy gardening. So until next week, I'm Matthew C.
And I'm Timmy D.
And we love y'all harder plus 2.
Rock on with your cock on, man.
Bye-bye.